Welcome to Module 1, the Facebook Empire. Let's dive right in. So, we know that this beast of a platform is the original. We know that Mark Zuckerberg had a vision, and look where we are now. I don't know if you can remember the day you first heard about the Facebook, but I will never forget where I was and what I first thought. I happened to be actually traveling to California and staying with a girlfriend who was part of an American college, and she was one of those original schools where they were sharing each other's Facebook accounts and using it to connect with students in 4 Ivy League universities in California. And as we know, the story goes, that was 2005 and it spread across the world. And we were using it as people, as users, as individual humans connecting with others, with status updates about what we had for breakfast and who we were dating and what books we loved that we had to manually input into our profile. Remember? Kelly is reading these books and loves this movie. And very quickly, Facebook didn't need us to tell it that at all. It started to understand through our browsing behavior, our post content, our keywords that we were using, the things we were liking, commenting, sharing, who we were, and what we enjoyed and believed and needed and wanted in our news feed. So, filtered content, algorithms came into play, as did beautiful business tools. So, as happens when there's a lot of people in one place, advertisers creep in, as do businesses that want to tell their story and they want to reach people where they are. And that is the most important thing we're talking about here, is the attention of the user base of Facebook that is something we can't ignore. And we see it based on the number of monthly active users that are currently and continuing to flock to the platform in, very long established Facebook using countries and overseas faraway ones too. Communities that have never actually had, fiber optic or wired internet connections, and they've gone straight to mobile. They have less desktop devices. We're talking about India, and everything is that mobile cellular experience, and it's just, robust and fast, and everything is there immediately for them, and we can reach them where they are in these huge, newer or growing markets, China, India, etc. So businesses began to create their business pages. We started to create our advertising targets, like our audiences, and create really spectacular campaigns and promoted content. And voila, the media industry is where it is today as a result of businesses, filling the void of people leaving traditional media with their eyeballs and their attentions and heading to their mobile and desktop devices and their social networks. So, with 2.7 billion monthly active users and growing all the time, again, we can't ignore this platform. Facebook has made so many platform updates, changes, feature additions that it's not something we can take for granted or assume is going off by the wayside. It is a multi-billion-dollar empire, and it is absolutely in Facebook's vested interest to keep us there. So the moment that people start flocking to, remember Snapchat? A couple of years ago, we all thought we needed to be there. Or in the more recent memory, TikTok. Or before they, had Instagram stories. Again, Snapchat's 24-hour disappearing feature. Facebook quickly had to find a way to incorporate that into their platform, which was originally Facebook and is also now Instagram, Messenger, a few others. We've got a big suite of tools within Facebook. So my point being, they're not going to let themselves become the grandma or the platform that your grandma uses. Young people may say that, and sure, I'm not going to argue with them, but our numbers don't lie when it comes to how many people are actually there, and that it's apples to oranges to advertise and spend our time on these platforms, Facebook and Instagram in particular, compared to some of the traditional marketing spends that we've maybe done before, or even Google Ads, which are a lot more expensive than what we're going to see on Facebook and Instagram for the time being and going forward for quite some time. Okay, so if we think about just a 5-year snapshot here, where 2015 we had a huge uptake and absolute global penetration of social networks and business uses and advertisers moving to those platforms. And with that, we saw this spectacular momentous occasion where Facebook reached the billion user mark, and it was a huge deal. And QQ and Qzone, which are out of China, are messenger apps, and one is a social network, and then WhatsApp and Messenger right behind. So, and a few others as well, of course. We started to see this blend, or this separating of the networks and the messenger platforms, which is notable because, of course, messenger apps are more private and social networks are more public facing. Now we've got a real blend of those two. I love Hootsuite stats. I love their webinars. I love their platform. And if you don't have a tool to schedule and automate your content, highly recommend, but also just subscribe to Hootsuite's blog and e-newsletter. They have fantastic information and stats around all things social. So the latest one there from 2020, thanks to Hootsuite's research, we can see that Facebook is well above the 2.6 billion user mark. That's monthly active users, and climbing. That was from the summer of 2020. YouTube right behind, which, as we know, is owned by Google. And then WhatsApp, owned by Facebook. And then Facebook Messenger, owned by Facebook. And then WeChat, owned by the former, well, it's a Chinese app. Instagram, owned by Facebook. And then TikTok and QQ and a few others. So really crazy to see that this company has a very big foothold and they know a lot about us. And that's okay. I mean, we can hide and we can ad block and we can not use them and unsubscribe and all those things. And many people are. They're leaving the platforms for the reasons that, many of us are aware of: privacy, targeting, addiction. They're there. However, if we know that we have value to provide our customers, our prospects, our users, and if we're a business of the modern day age, we're kind of crazy not to be there. That's not to say to take advantage of, because I wouldn't claim that about a TV advertiser or someone who's running billboards. And any company who's creating stories and ads on Instagram and Facebook is doing what they should be doing, which is promoting awareness and building revenue for their business and for their staff. So with that, that was my little ethics note there. With that, we'll take a quick look here at just digital in general. And my entire mission in this little snapshot here of this module is to show you that this is a significant platform, yes, but that it's not going away. Social networks, social platforms will change and evolve, absolutely. But unlike 2016, 2017, where honestly the sentiment around businesses, big and small, and users was like, well, I've missed that boat. I missed Foursquare. I missed Snapchat. Why should I bother? I'll just get the next one. I missed Instagram. I could have been big on Insta. So what's the point? I'll just wait it out. What I'm trying to say here is that the big guns are so big that they are still worth investing in. You haven't missed the boat. There's many segments of industries and specific regions in particular, especially in Canada, where our population is not nearly as big, and thus the penetration of companies and users and advertisers in regions is not nearly the same as it is in the US or other regions. You've got a huge opportunity, no matter how far removed you are from them currently or how disenchanted you might be from your results in the past. You can do really, really well, and rest assured that your investment is worth the time. If you double down on 2 or 3 social platforms, it doesn't have to be 10, and you commit to them for a year, I promise you, you will see results. We'll get into that in a minute, but the most common thing we hear is when people say, oh yeah, I tried that, it didn't work for me, or LinkedIn's confusing, or Facebook boosted posts are a waste of money. It's most often that they didn't truly understand what they were doing, and they didn't invest enough time, research, and energy into watching what was happening, optimizing or changing course, and then just continuing to learn from the platform and spending time in it. These dashboards can be confusing on first glance, and the platforms as a whole have a lot to them. So the more that you can commit, the better you're going to perform, I promise you. So if we look at, again, overall population versus how many are on the internet and actively using social media, it's pretty crazy to know that there's 59% of the world's population currently has internet access, and that 51% of those people are using social media. We're in pretty good company, and we have pretty good reason to continue building our skills and again, investing our time and energy. So Facebook, let's bring it in. Facebook is very well known for and excellent at performing well with your long form content, your deeper storytelling. We're not writing novels here, but we're able to create this rich content that's not just quick captions, tweets, hashtags. We can use their varied content and publishing tools to create, videos, lives, carousels, link posts, single image posts, so many different types that keep it interesting. Gives our feed or our profile a magazine like feel that keeps people coming back. We want to make people compelled. We want to build curiosity. We want them to open our posts, and we want to stop their scroll so that they see what we're doing. We've got their attention, and we lead them to take action. We're so much less concerned today with what we call the vanity metrics or the surface level metrics of likes, comments, shares, fans, and with the meaningful actions that lead people to our website, that they subscribe, they buy, they make appointments, they call, they do whatever it is our conversion might be. So we're very able to do that on Facebook. We can, again, build awareness, yes, but educate people, encourage them, and move them through what we like to call the customer journey, whether they find us on Facebook first or they're led there from somewhere else, but that ideally we're playing ball, we're getting to know them, we're staying top of mind, and we're leading them further towards wanting to do business with us for the first time or on a repeat basis. We're fostering community and belonging. And that word belonging is so important today. We are isolated human beings on a whole other level right now than we've been in the past. And people are craving connection, which they're craving a sense of belonging and understanding. They want to feel an affinity and a connection to the brands and the people that they buy from. Their pocketbook might be tighter, or their skepticism higher, or their trust lower, their BS meter higher than ever. And they are trusting their friends and their network to tell them what's good or who to shop from or what restaurant to try. And they're trusting you as a business owner or a storyteller to make them feel like they know you, they trust you, they like you. And we can really make them feel like they have a stake in what we're doing, that they have some kind of sense of ownership in it, because they can not just be told what to think, but they can live the experience of your brand, even if it's just a dental clinic or a cafe or a music experience, something. We're story living as users. We get to post about it, share it, review it, generate content like it that brand may repost. So it's a two-way street more than ever, and we're allowing ourselves to give up some of the control. We like to say that if we set the stage, they will engage. That's the idea. We're no longer shouting at people, push marketing. We're pulling them in, we're meeting them where they are, and we're sure not promoting to them, or they'll turn away. We're speaking their language and serving them exactly how they hope and need to be served, with the kind of content that adds value and doesn't waste their time. We can create events. We can promote those events. We can have this really awesome kind of effective advertising tool for our events, or again, of course, our shop. We can create a Facebook store, which we'll look at, and so many other things that feel organic. They don't feel like a piece of promoted content or an ad. We always say that our posts as businesses should feel just like an ad. And one of my favorite examples of this is that in one of our retreats at Social School, we had a gal who was a senior marketer. She had just moved from the UK, and she had been working for Unilever. And Unilever is a multinational, well, an owner of many multinational brands, and one of them was Dove. And she had been working on some Dove campaigns on social, paid and unpaid. But it was so interesting because she said, I don't understand what you mean by organic content. Like, all our content is paid. What does she mean by that? Well, Dove is gigantic. They're like a Coca-Cola. They probably have 10 million fans on their Facebook page, if not 30. And their organic reach or unpaid reach of their Facebook posts, thanks to the filtering and the algorithms, and Facebook Zero, as many dubbed it, in 2018 when Zuckerberg announced that business page posts were going to be seeing a very big drop in reach. In other words, pay to play, or you're not going to get served. We're going to look at that in a second. For a brand like Unilever, they weren't creating any content that they weren't putting a bit of money behind. So a beautiful post about, something that ideally was a story or something that was educational, insightful, inspiring, as opposed to like, buy this, here's our latest sale, 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 sale. No, no, no. It had some money behind it so that it would get seen, even if it's $5 targeted at XYZ audience, probably more like $500, but either way. So for them, of course, their content was the same value, quality and performance expectations as if it was, a framed image hanging in a museum or a gallery versus an advertisement. They're the same. They didn't feel like one was a promotion and one was organic. So going forward, we're going to think about that a lot with our content. Does this feel spammy and pushy, or does it feel like something that belongs in an entertainment network? Because that's what Facebook is. I don't go on Facebook to be sold to or promoted to. I go on there as a reprieve, as a break from my inbox, as a break from my daily life to see and to connect with my friends and my family. And if we're going to show up there as brands, we need to do it right. We do not interrupt, we do not push. We have to meld into the conversation in the right way, however we can. So if that's not a high bar, I don't know what is. But either way, all of these things can come together really well. We're going to look at a lot of examples of what I'm talking about, and I'm going to go deep into them in the next module. I will see you there.